This is Terry, and on this video, we're going to talk about factoring by grouping. So I have some problems up here. We're going to look at the first one on the left, this xy plus 2x plus 10y plus 20. So anytime I hear something about factoring, I always look to see if there's anything they all have in common. There is nothing these four have in common. They don't all have a number. They don't all have the same variable. So when it talks about grouping, that's usually when we have four different terms. So you'll notice we have x, y, and then we have a 2x, and then a 10y, and then a 20. So there's four different terms across through there. So when we talk about grouping, there's going to usually be four, and we're usually going to take the first two and put a parenthesis around it, and the second two and put a parenthesis around them. So we're just going to group them together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at those first two that we have right there. And we're going to say, hey, what do those first two, x, y, and 2x, what do they have in common? Well, they both have an x, right? So we're going to bring that x out. And then we're going to take that. That's going to be our greatest common factor. And we're going to divide each one of those two terms by that x. Well, when we do that, the x's would cancel and we would be left with just y. Plus the x's would cancel again, so we'll be left with y plus 2. Then we know we have a plus sign, so we bring it down, and we're going to do the same thing for this second set of parentheses. What do those two things have in common? A 10y plus a 20. Well, they both have a number in common, and if you think about it, 10 can divide into both numbers evenly, right? So we're going to go ahead and bring that 10 outside. That's going to be our greatest common factor. So we're going to take that greatest common factor, and if you remember, we divide both things by that greatest common factor. So when we do that, the 10s would cancel, leaving us with just a y, and the 20 divided by 10 would just be a 2. Now, if you'll notice, something kind of neat happened. We have the same thing in this set of parentheses that we have in this set of parentheses. That's what we're looking for, okay? So when that happens, what we're going to do is we're going to take the things that are outside the parentheses. So we have an x and a plus 10, and we're just going to bring them down and put them together like that and put them in a set of parentheses. And then whatever we had in the parentheses, because they're the exact same thing, we just bring it down one time. And we have just completely factored this expression by grouping. And if you wanted to see if you were correct, you could multiply that out by using the FOIL method, and you're going to get exactly what you started with. All right, so let's look at question number 2 here. So we'll kind of divide our page so we know where we're at. And we have x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x minus 12. And so we're going to factor by grouping. They have nothing in common. 3 of them have an x, but that last one doesn't. So we're going to take the first two things, put them in parentheses, and the second two things and put them in parentheses. Okay, so let's look at the first two. We have an x cubed plus 4x squared. And if you remember, they don't have a number. So if you remember, when we talk about exponents, we take the exponent that is the smallest, and that's what we bring out. So that would be our x squared. Well, once we do that, we're going to divide each thing by that greatest common factor. So we have x squared, dividing them both by x squared. So x cubed divided by x squared, if you remember, we just subtract our exponents. So we would have x to the 1 power, or just x, plus here the x squareds would cancel out and would leave us with just x plus 4. Okay, then we have a negative sign. All right, so let's look at our next set. We have 3x minus 12. And we're like, okay, what do they have in common? I always start with my smallest number, 3. Can 3 divide into 12 evenly? Yes, it can. It sure can. It would be 4, wouldn't it? So we're just going to bring out that negative 3. That's going to be our greatest common factor. Now, when we do that, we notice there's a negative, so we're going to divide each thing by that negative 3, okay? Does that make sense? All right, so when we do that, we have negative 3 divided by negative 3. They would cancel. That leaves us with just an x. And then we have negative 12 divided by negative 3, and that makes a plus 4. So we have 3x plus 4. All right. Cool thing is this and this match. So we know we are going in the right direction. So we're going to take the things that are outside the parenthesis, the x squared and that minus 3. We're just going to bring them down just like that. Put them in a set of parentheses. And then whatever was in the parentheses, that was our x plus 4, we'll just bring it down and put it right beside it. And we have just completely factored this problem. Perfect. All right, we're going to just try one more here just to make sure we have the hang of it. All right, so we have AB plus 6A minus 4B minus 24. Again, they have nothing in common. It's what we always look for first. Then we realize that there's 4 terms there, so we're going to try grouping. So we're going to group each one here. And when we do that, we're going to look at the first two. We have AB plus 6A. What do they have in common? They both have an A, don't they? So we're going to bring that A out. And then we're going to divide each one by that greatest common factor, what we brought outside the parentheses, right? So the A's would cancel, leaving us with just a B plus. The A's would cancel on this side, so we've got B plus 6. Now we have that negative sign, right? And we look at this, 4B minus 24. I always start with my smallest number. Can 4 divide into 24 evenly? Absolutely. So 4 is going to be our greatest common factor, actually negative 4, right? So we're going to take that and we're going to put it under each one of these, negative 4, negative 4. So negative 4 divided by negative 4, that just leaves us with that B, doesn't it? And negative 24 divided by negative 4 would be a plus 6. Okay, and we look at this and we're like, hey, the two things in the parentheses match up. Perfect, that's what we wanted. All right, so we're going to take the numbers outside the parentheses. So this would be A minus 4. Then we're going to take whatever was inside the parentheses. Ours was a B plus 6, right? Put them together. And we have now completely factored this problem using grouping.